the first thing we're going to talk about is balance. What do I mean by balance? When you're designing something, if you can put a line in the middle of your book cover, then you can see if your book cover is balanced. So what do I mean by this? Let's say this right here is our book cover, and we're going to have our title here, and we're going to have a face of a human here. This is a human, nose, and it's smiling. Very creepy human. Let's just say we're making a horror book. And then here is the author name. If we slice this in the middle, then we can see that this design is actually balanced. Why? Because the left side and the right side not only have the same amount of elements, but it takes the same amount of space. So here we can see that the title takes the same amount of space in the left and on the right. The face takes the same amount of space on the left and on the right. The same with the author name. Now, what if we had the same exact book cover, but the title was here, and then the face was here, and you have the author name here? Well, now, when we cut it in the middle, we can see that this takes up a lot more space than this small one here. This barely takes up any space on the left, a lot more of the faces on the right, and you also have the author name on the right. So all of this is just empty. So your design is not balanced. If you put it in the middle, it doesn't mirror each other. Now, balance doesn't mean that it has to mirror the left and right side. It just means that if each element of your book cover has its own weight, you want an equal amount of weight on the left and on the right. So let's say I type a book title here, and then I have my subtitle here, and then I have the picture of the sun here and the picture of the moon here, and I have this. Okay, let's say it's something like this. This is what my book cover looks like. If I cut this in half, even though this isn't directly mirroring the left and right side, we know that this square is the same amount as the square on the right. We know that this circle is the same amount as the circle on the right. And we know that the subtitle takes up the same amount of space as the subtitle on the right. So if we slice it in the middle, even though this is higher than this one, they still take up the same amount of space. So it does mirror each other. You can have something up here, and then if you have the same thing down here, then it balances out. It's all about finding balance on the left and on the right. So if you have too many elements on the left side of your cover, you have a bunch of elements here, and you have no elements over here, then your cover just looks empty, doesn't look balanced, doesn't look pleasing to the eye. So you need to make sure your book cover is balanced.